Hey, what's up everyone? It's Last Prize. This will be a series called Ranked Ramblings, where I will just ramble about whatever we want. StarCraft related, not StarCraft related. We're just gonna do whatever we want. And all the meantime, playing a ladder game, inevitably, probably poorly, because I'm talking. So today, this is very late. Oh, it's Loki. I feel like I played against this guy a bunch. Today I did want to talk about easier tools. Yeah, that's very relevant. That's there you go. Gotta get that streamer relevancy or the fucking content cloud, bro. So if you don't already know, a prominent French pro gamer had tweeted something along the lines of like, after losing to a Protoss in bracket named MaxPax, who is, side note, is known for cheesing, and that will be probably, that's not like super important, but could be important later. Excuse me. He essentially, after losing to him, he tweeted something along the lines of, I didn't feel like he was better than me, but rather he just had better tools. And now this sparked a shit ton of controversy, where people were like, oh, no, he doesn't. It eventually boiled down to, does Protoss have better tools? Huge thing discussed on the Pylon show. Whatever. I didn't script anything for this or write my thoughts out. I thought about it for like a little bit, but I kind of read it, said, whatever, lol. I feel like this shit happens like all the time. If someone bounce, or a pro gamer will bounce one, and people are like, you're not allowed to think the game is unbalanced. Yeah. But anyway, here's I guess I'll just ramble on and give my 2 cents about it. I think the question really boils down to, does Protoss indeed have better tools? And that is what everyone has been talking about. People are like, oh, they require less micro. You don't have to like control your units as you have less units, so you don't need to do as much. It's like easier. And then I don't really know. Like, I think things can be, I think in terms of like being a pro, in terms of just pure competition, this is not speaking of whether things should be or like design wise, but this is more just like in terms of competition. I think the question really is like, does it even matter? Like, okay, so if you're not pro level, it doesn't really matter, because you can just win if you just like, get good Omega lol. Now, saying is it easier to do that or not, then that might be your arguments, where you say, oh well, it's easier to get higher ranked with Protoss, and sometimes I really do feel that, the fucking guys who cannon rush me every single time on ladder, they always seem to like just increase their MMR really quickly. So that's a different discussion for later. But I will say that I think it doesn't actually matter that much, because if you're not at like the top professional level, it's like, okay, why should you give a shit, right? You just kind of want to just watch the video games, and Cheese is fun to watch. It's exciting. It's dramatic. Shit just hits the fan instantly, and you're like, wow, things are happening really quick. That gas is leak, by the way, so that sucks. I always forget that gas. Things just kind of happen, and you're like, oh my god. And I think, hold on, there's a fucking overlord. Yo, that's a sneaky overlord. It's a ninja overlord. Shit, what was I saying? And if you're at the professional top level, I think once you get that high of a level, it's like, things like that just seem to matter a lot less. So, let's say, I think people like Maru and like TY and stuff really exemplify that the most, where it's just like, they may think things are imbalanced, but the top like Korean Terrans always just won things no matter what. Like, they just like were kind of built different, and I think that's what it meant to be like a top professional, is that like, sure, things can be imbalanced, and you might think that things should be changed, But whether it actually affects you as a pro gamer, I feel like it affects it not like as much as people would like to imagine. So for instance, you take someone like MKLeo, who had just recently won a major Smash Bros. Tournament with a character that was generally regarded as much, much worse. And is still regarded as like not top tier, maybe not even like high tier for some people. They just think the character's not good. But it's just his skill as a player that makes the character good. And he can still use it. So even though he has worse tools, and he's playing against an opponent who is no slouch himself, Tweak, the #2 player, literally had just smacked him up in the last tournament at Summit, still was able to win pretty decently, pretty handily. So why is that? And then that really raised the question of like, how do we evaluate things' strengths? And I feel that this results kind of based analysis is just not that great. People always be like, look at the rank distribution, it's slightly off, that must mean this race is fucking broken. But it's like, is that really true? Like, even if you look at, like, I feel like Brood War comes up a lot, where it's just like the game hasn't been changed at all, but it's the players who keep pushing it. And a lot of StarCraft 2 players will say that StarCraft really isn't a game that you can do that with, and it needs patches. And I think that's not, like, wrong to say, I think. But maybe saying needs patches is different from saying it would be better with patches. I think StarCraft would be better with changes. Yeah, of course. It was really interesting. I was always excited to play StarCraft once a new balance patch came out. But I think one of the most interesting things about it is how the meta shifts anyway, despite the— what the fuck, why do you have so many queens? What the? What is this guy doing? I think one of the most interesting things about Brood War is how things change, and about Melee, and about Smash Bros. Melee, is that things' strengths will change as long as there are people to push them forward. And if that can happen with a game like Melee, or even StarCraft Brood War, I just don't see how one could say, oh, but StarCraft 2, it's impossible for that to happen. So I think in terms of pure competitiveness, and like, is this game like balanced or whatever, I think there's really— I don't know if there's really like a huge argument to say like, oh, this is like not very good. Can things be of horrible design? And sometimes things are imbalanced, so, you know, Google Infestor. I wasn't really around for that, but, you know, that was just an unbeatable strategy. Things, I think, get imbalanced once the meta starts revolving around it too much. So, for instance, it would have to be so incredibly abusive for Protoss to be, like, that OP with, like, max packs having better tools or whatever. I think it would be egregiously imbalanced if all Protoss did was just cheese, and that was just the only viable strategy, and then there's just no way to counterplay. But I think with games like StarCraft, it's very difficult to get there. Brood War and Infestor was so egregiously imbalanced because that was literally— you would literally— the game was just centralized around you either did the strategy and won, or you didn't. And then that was literally it. And I think that's why it was so disgustingly unbalanced. Because that's all the meta revolved around. That's all you did. Now, do we see this happening with Protoss? Not as much, I think. Like, I think what makes Trap one of, like, the best Protoss players, and, like, Parting one of the best Protoss players, is that they do different things. I mean, yeah, Parting will cheese, but they're different kinds, you know? Like, Parting is one of the best at just finding build orders and just optimizing the shit out of them. And then just finding crazy timings that just, like, no one knows about. Like, the hidden timings. And that's what makes them a great player. That's what makes, like, Maru a great player, too. Because they just find random shit that's like, I didn't even know this was, like, possible to do. But they just keep pushing the game further and further. And until that stops, I feel like StarCraft, is like still a pretty fine. Like, you know. I mean, then again, I am not at the top level by any means, so... But this is just kind of what I think from observing other games. Do I think StarCraft should have a balance patch? Sure, I love balance patches. Why the hell not? So that was terrible. I think having StarCraft getting balance patches is great for the game. It makes the game super refreshing, super fun to play. Because it's just like, yo, look at these fucking crazy ass strategies. But I feel that the lack of balance patches combined with Blizzard just giving up on or just leaving the game has created just a terrible negative atmosphere that I think is just really bad for the longevity of the game. Because it really is just the dead game meme coming back again. Except that there's like a legitimately much better reason to think it, and then it's just very sad in general. It's not very good for the game. When you have pro players saying that the game is just fucking dead, then there's just that gives no reason for the viewers to watch it. And when you have no reason for the viewers to watch it, it then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where it's just like, oh, why would I watch this game if it's going to be dead in the next year? You know, like, and that directly goes against your longevity as a professional player. So I think professional players openly like whining about it and like balancing out and like whining about the game is not healthy for the game at all. I genuinely think they should not do that. Because, you know, if the game is unbalanced and if the game is shit, then why should anyone watch it? Why should anyone watch it if theoretically the best player isn't going to win? Because is that not the point of competition? So when you balance whine about things like that, it hurts you. And I understand that, like, I'm not saying you should never feel things. Like, of course you're going to feel things. You're like fucking, you know, you're fucking human. But it's also it's time for ghosts. Oh fuck, we've reached that stage.
Talk to me.
Oh, my SCVs. Well, he killed a bunch of SCVs, but it's actually pretty whatever, I think. Anyway, a real problem is that I'm going to have to go full turtle mode now.
Upgrade complete.
I think I'm gonna need to make a second planetary fortress here.
Your forces are under attack.
Let me do this. And now we need to start spamming out tanks. And now we need to slowly expand our territory outwards. And then that will allow us to, hold on. So the way that Mari does late game is that he fortifies one side of the map, and then starts pushing the other side. So I'm going to fortify the bottom because I don't think I can ever take this base. And I'm going to slow push towards top left. So I'm going to start spamming out some dudes. So let me do this. Let me do this. Yeah, so he has literally nothing here. Really interesting. And I'm perfectly okay with sacking this supply. Actually, I don't want to sack that much supply, so we're going to actually run. We can't actually lose supply too quickly, or else we just die. So I want to move this planetary fortress up also, just a little bit. And then now we need to spam stuff over here. And now we're just going to slow push our way forwards towards the top. Do that. We're also going to need to kill that. We are going to need to kill that. Hold on.
Not enough.
Let's see.
Resting geyser exhausted. Not enough energy.
Waiting on you. Let's go.
Command center upgrade.
Hold up. I'm getting into supreme late game.
Field depleted.
Did not mean for this to happen, but here we are. I like getting 3 Ghost Academies. I'm gonna do this. Oh, this is not what I meant to do.
Now what? Dropping off.
Mineral field.
Yeah, this is gonna be a long one. This is gonna be a long one for sure. So the way you go about this is you just spam tanks, spam lurkers, and pray. Actually, I'm gonna another PFA just for good measure. He's gonna start sieging things, and I'm gonna need tanks over here as well. I'm just gonna put 3 tanks over here. Oh fuck, that was really good. That was really good. That was really good.
Command center upgrade. Base.
Oh, that's really good by him. Holy shit, he really got me there. Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
Research. Command center upgrade.
Oh, that's so bad.
Research. Your forces are under attack.
Okay. Where's the overseer?
Command center upgrade complete.
Okay, so as long as we can actually hold the top, then it's actually perfectly okay.
Upgrade complete. Nuclear missile ready.
So we just need to hold this.
Not enough energy. Add on. Not enough energy.
There's a scan.
Resting geyser.
Okay, and then I do stuff like this. Or I just launch nukes
Field depleted.
at places like that. And I need to start replacing my units with siege tanks and doors. And then at some point I just at some point I just trade out better than him.
Add on. Complete.
This is super annoying.
Mineral field depleted.
Okay.
Nuclear. Not enough energy.
Okay, that's a bit annoying, but that's okay. And then I start pushing towards him like this. So this is how this works. I can take this. I can even do drops, I think.
Mineral field depleted.
Hold on, I need to really focus on this game. Because this shit is like fucking insanity.
Mineral field depleted.
Unacceptable, man. We are at maximum supply.
These games are always like actually crazy. Okay.
Somebody, get me out of this mess.
Shit.
Resting geyser. Upgrade complete. Not enough energy.
So siege tanks actually outrange lurkers. So that's why I can take positions like this. And then now I just take control of territory. I just trade cost efficiently. That's all I do now. Now I just need to keep running back and forth and just trade. Just trade and slowly push my way forward. Okay.
Ready for dust off.
Okay. Now I do this. Oh! And I'm just getting so much value from this. I think holding this top base up here is going to win me the game. How many workers do I have? 70? I'm gonna start sacking, so. And now we start making Thors. Okay, I'm running low on energy, so I really do need Thors as well. Okay, how the hell are you guys even still alive after all this time? Let me send you guys over here. Okay, we're gonna go through our supply and see what do we not need. I saw a random wood of mine here. Maybe put over here. I'm gonna start doing this too. And now we're gonna start trying to push our tank line. Hold up. There we go. Okay, push this sword over here. Push this tank up over here. I can actually put this tank up right here as well. And I can just move that safely from above. Okay. So this is where the hard part begins. Now he has these capabilities. As good as mine. So I'm running low on energy. I think I used a little bit too much. It's gonna be really annoying. Yeah, now he's like doing shit like that. And then we just make Thors. Now we're just gonna slowly push this forward. So I use this nuke to push forward, and as that nuke goes off, I can push my tanks up, finish my missile turrets. Woo!
Nuclear missile ready. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
Okay, I need more Thors. Snipe, 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 snipe. Okay. This is okay. Problem is my energy reserves are just so low.
Not enough energy. Not enough energy. Destiny's geyser exhausted.
Okay, I think I can just get a cup. Which looks, that's a good idea.
Base is under attack. Not enough energy. Not enough energy.
Okay. Let's see how much my bank got used up.
Mineral Mineral field depleted.
I think having a healthy mix of Thors and tanks really is really good.
Mineral field
These are
depleted.
real? Why didn't they make these Marines for? Oh shit. I win this, I win this, I win this. Let's go! Holy shit, I did not expect this the first episode to be this long, but oh my god, what a banger of a game. What the fuck? Holy shit. Yo.